In this video, we'll talk about some of the upgrades that you could potentially avoid and save yourself a bunch of money. So number one on the upgrades is going to be the swimming pool. A lot of people go into a house that does not have a pool and decide that they need to have a swimming pool, and they go ahead and put $200,000, $300,000, $100,000 into a new swimming pool, only to find out that they don't really use it that often. Now, it's all going to be very dependent on your individual situation. Now, families that have kids, the kids are going to use the pool. Now, if you're in Michigan, they're going to use the pool a whole lot less than if you're living in Phoenix. If you're living in Florida, it's almost mandatory that you're going to have a pool for these little kids. Now, the little kids do get older. I've got a 17-year-old. He was little once, but as time goes on, you find out you use the pool less and less. So you have to decide whether or not you think that pool is going to be worth it to you in the long run. If you're able to find a home that already has a pool, that is the best possible scenario. But if you're going to spend $200,000 or $300,000 on an outdoor pool, odds are you're not going to get that money back. And when you're selling your home, an appraiser is just going to comp it out to another house that already has a pool. So you may not get that money out, but that money spent may be worth it to you. It may be worth it to you for the memories that it creates with you, your family, and your kids. So it all depends on how you look at it. Now, I grew up with a pool. The pool was very useful when we were younger. It was useful when we were teenagers. But when my sister and I moved out of the house, all we got were complaints from my mom saying that she's wasting money on the pool. She opened the pool, she closed the pool, the chemicals in the pool, there's a leak in the pool, they've got to dig up the backyard because there's something wrong with the pool. You have to get a new heater. Very, very costly to maintain, especially if you don't use it. However, I have memories of growing up with a pool, memories of my dad who worked like a dog, working 6 days a week, and on Sundays he would go sit in the pool for literally 2 hours probably with the Sunday New York Times and sit there and lounge and read the newspaper. So for that, frankly, probably worth the money. So you have to look at it on a person-to-person, situation-to-situation basis. But sometimes you spend money on the pool, you don't use it at all, and it becomes just something nice to look at. The second thing, which can be attached to the outdoor pool living area, would be an outdoor kitchen. Again, depending on where you live in the country, outdoor kitchens can be great. They can be beautiful. They can be large. They can take up half the backyard. However, most of the time, I'm finding that my clients are not really using the full potential of their outdoor kitchens. They have the high-end refrigerators, and they've got the sinks, and they've got everything that you need out there, but basically they're just using the grill. So if you want to save yourself a ton of money, you can get a very nice grill, you can do some stonework around the grill, but I think that should be about it. Now, if you're one of those people that has parties, like you're out in the Hamptons and you have people all over the place all the time, okay, I can see that, but for the most part, you're just using the grill. And a lot of times people do the grilling outside, bring the food inside to eat. So that extensive outdoor grill that you can spend $200,000, that whole backyard deal, may not be worth it in the long term. Now, depending on the price point of the house, some of the houses that are selling, I'm here in Charlotte, some of the houses that are selling for $2 or $3 million, there's an expectation that the pool is going to be there and the outdoor living area with the grill and the whole outdoor deal is going to be there. So with those homes where the price point is super high, it's going to be an expectation that that stuff is already there. Now, the next thing that I think may be a waste of money, upgrading your backyard, is putting in one of those playgrounds for your kids. Now, I put one of those in for my kid, probably spent $4,000 or $5,000. The Mac Daddy was put in and it was built in the backyard and got some usage for a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years. I was predominantly running around with him out there. The swings, we didn't really use that much. We had a clubhouse, which we kind of used, but over time, you get older, you stop using it. Now, would I say it was a waste of money? No, not really. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I have the memories of running around with my son out there. I don't know what kind of price you can put on that, but the one pain in the ass is that it started rotting. I didn't paint it. I didn't take care of it like I was supposed to. My wife wanted it out. The biggest problem was getting it out of my backyard. So we actually put it up for sale on Nextdoor or Craigslist, and we got no takers, but we said whoever wants it can come and take it apart and take it for free. And that's what happened. They came, they took it apart in an hour. It would have taken me 6 years, and they moved it out. So was it a waste? Kinda. You know, it was $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But do I have the memories? Yes. Same thing with the pool. Is it really worth it? I'm not sure. But the memories, that's pretty much what you can hold on to. And that's going to be the theme pretty much of this video, that although people regret doing certain things, and there are going to be some things in here that you will regret, it's got to be a careful balance. Is it a regret, or is it building a memory that's going to last forever? Another thing a lot of people overspend on is shrubbery, planting, gardening, bushes, landscaping, that kind of thing. They will overdo landscaping. Landscaping can be a fortune. Now, sometimes they regret doing it. From my perspective, the more landscaping, the better, frankly. I moved from New York down to Charlotte so that I had privacy. So now when one bush is looking a little tired, I put 3 more bushes in its place. I think that landscaping is important, but you don't want to overspend. Now let's get to the indoor of the house. What upgrades are people making that they do regret? So let's go with appliances. A lot of people are putting in these fancy appliances, you know, with these iPad screens, or you can look through and see what's in your refrigerator. For me, I think that is a waste. I think it's a waste of money. However, some people are putting in Wolf or Viking or Miele appliances. They're spending $10,000 or $15,000 on a stove or a refrigerator. Now again, it depends on the price point. Some of the homes that I go into and I sell, if those things aren't there, if you don't have the little red knobs for the Wolf appliances, people are saying that it's not worth the money for the house because it's not in there. If you go into a less expensive home and you see that, you think that the people have spent too much money on it. Now, I can go both ways on that. If you're a chef, if you're somebody who's really cooking and you need one of these Wolf appliances, go ahead and do it. If you have a modest home, I don't think it's worth putting in Wolf or Viking appliances. You can save a ton of money by not upgrading those appliances and just going with the standard appliance that's gonna last you. Some people have sculleries. Those are like extra kitchens in back of your kitchen so that nobody sees your kitchen. So the sculleries, a lot of people are putting in the high-end appliances in there. Viking appliances. For what reason? I'm not sure. It's hidden. Might as well just save the money, put it somewhere else in the house, put it in the stock market, go on vacation. Scullery definitely does not need the high-end appliances. Now, a lot of the upgrades that people make a mistake on and regret are taking out all the cabinets in the kitchen and going with open shelving, like the farmhouse style. Open shelving is a huge, huge mistake. 2 reasons. You're losing all of your storage by taking out all your cabinets. That's number 1. Number 2, the shelving, everybody gets to see your stuff and you've got to keep it neat all the time. In my house, we've got cabinets, we shove all kinds of crap into it so nobody can see it. If you got shelves, you got to make them look nice, and they pick up dirt, dust, and grease. Open shelving, not the way to go, boys and girls. Get cabinets, don't do the open shelving. Take this one from me. Next thing that's controversial are these freestanding bathtubs. They're all the new rage, these new sleek, beautiful bathtubs. They're gorgeous, they're standalone. However, how often are you going to use it? Are you using it? Do you have kids that are going to use it? Do you have other bathtubs in the house? Do you need to have this type of bathtub? A lot of people find them difficult to get in and out. If you get one of these bathtubs, you got to make sure that you get one of these shower heads so that you can clean it easily, because I'm told they're very difficult to clean. They look beautiful. They are stunning. It's like walking into a museum when you see some of these bathrooms with these gorgeous bathtubs. But are they really worth the money? That's completely up to you. A regular bathtub may suffice. If you're a bathtub person, go for it. If you're looking for looks, go for it. It's the new thing. A lot of the high-end homes have it. I just don't know how usable they really are. You might be better off with just a bigger, fancier shower. Is it practical? If it's not practical, you may regret putting it in. Now let's talk about converting bedrooms into closets. Sometimes people decide that they're gonna take a bedroom, if they're not using it, and turn it into a closet. So you can take a 4-bedroom house. If you don't need 4 bedrooms, you make it into a 3-bedroom and you make it into a closet. Closet is gonna be wonderful. It's gonna look gorgeous. Sometimes it will sell the house, but for the most part, people are gonna come in to your home and they probably are going to want a 4-bedroom. Now, if you have a 7-bedroom home and convert one of the rooms into a closet, that might be a different story. But if you're going from a 3 to a 2, a 4 to a 3, I'm not sure it's worth it going into a closet unless you're only by yourself or it's only 2 people. When you go to sell it, you might want to make it back into a bedroom because people will want the bedroom. It's better for resale. Now, all these things that you do, you want to put this into your home like you're living in it. You don't want to worry about resale value. However, at the end of the day, at some point you will resell it, and some of the things you may want to reverse. One of those things is converting a garage into living space. Now, converting garage into living space can make sense. A lot of guys, they like that garage. They like to do stuff in the garage. They make it into a man cave. They smoke their cigars. They have big screen TVs. They do a lot of stuff in the garage. But where do you put the cars? Sometimes people, when they're buying a house, they want a garage to put the cars in. So if you're going to renovate your garage and make it into heated living space, running heating and cooling and doing all that stuff, I would kind of put some insulation in there, but I would keep the garage door. So if you do decide at some point that you're gonna sell, you can convert that living space back into a garage should the new person buying it want a garage. So I'm kind of mixed feelings about that upgrade. It may be great. For some people, it's the wrong thing to do. Now, my name is Eli Magids, and I'm a real estate advisor here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the surrounding areas of Charlotte, specializing in luxury homes, new home construction, and custom homes. But most importantly, I'm your realtor with heart. If you think that you and I are a good fit, I would love to hear from you. And if you're looking for a realtor in your particular area, I'm connected to luxury realtors around the country. Just fill out the form below or call or text me, and I'll put you in touch with some of this country's best real estate advisors. Now, my advice, so that you don't make too many regrets before you move in or just when you move in, is to live in your house for 3 months, 6 months, or a year and see what will actually work. Things that you think might not work may actually work for you. If you're thinking of knocking down walls, you may live in the house and say, you know what, we don't need to knock down the wall. It works fine the way it is. So that's number one. I would give yourself some time before you do any of those major renovations. Second thing I would do is before I moved in, I would do all the repairs that would need to be done. Do the repairs before you move into the house. For instance, I have clients that have moved into homes that I personally, multi-million-dollar homes, but they thought it needed work. I could walk right into those homes and be completely comfortable and not make a change whatsoever. And yet some of my clients say they've got to rip this out, they've got to rip that out. So just going in there, waiting a little bit. For me, a lot of these homes that my clients are tearing apart, I could go in there and live very, very happily. The other thing I suggest is having a budget and staying with it. Good contractors are hard to find. You've got to stay with a budget. No matter how good the contractor is, you got to figure you're going to spend 50% more than what the contractor tells you it's going to cost. If he says it's going to cost $20,000 to do the kitchen, it's going to cost you $30,000 to do the kitchen. This is from experience. Contractors always come in low and they end up high. So make sure that you have a budget. Stay on that budget, but know that you're going to have to budget 50% more than what the budget was calling for. Notice from experience, have a budget, go 50% over that budget to make it your real budget. Now, the number one thing I can tell you that you will not regret doing when you're upgrading your house is upgrading the high traffic areas. Your kitchen cannot be upgraded enough. Your bathrooms, those are the areas that sell your house. Sometimes a pool will sell the house. Sometimes a pool is something that somebody doesn't want and would rather fill it in with sand. Outdoor kitchen, someone may think they want, it looks beautiful, but ultimately we end up just using the grill. Thank you so much for watching, and until we see each other again next time.